Morning, church. Pastor Brandon here with you today to share a quick devotion about Jesus sending the disciples in Mark chapter 14, getting ready for Passover. Verse 16 of chapter 14 says, "The disciples left, went into the city, and found things just as Jesus had told them, so they prepared the Passover." Now that might seem like an odd verse to share as we're getting ready for Easter. There's not a whole lot in it, but my heart just kept being drawn back to that verse. And as I thought about it and prayed about it and got ready to share this morning, and just two things I want to point out to you. Number one, Jesus sent them, just like we've all been sent into our world, and yet we're all kind of at bay right now. We're in our homes and stuff, but they were preparing for the Passover. And when they got to the city, they found things just as Jesus had told them they would. So first thing is that we can always trust in what Jesus tells us to do, that things are going to go the way Jesus tells us. Second thing is that the disciples, they go in and prepare for Passover. That's just a simple challenge for us, that we need to prepare our hearts for Easter Sunday, for the resurrection that we celebrate of Jesus Christ. And I want to encourage you to do that, to take time each day to prepare your hearts for what God's going to do this week and beyond this week. The other thing is we, like the disciples, are going into like an upper room. We're stuck in our homes, and want you to be asking yourself over this next 2 or 3 weeks, what is God preparing us for? Here, Jesus is preparing the disciples for his departure, his death, burial, and resurrection. And things are going to go exactly as he tells them in this upper room. And for us, though, we may not know exactly what to expect at the end of this whole coronavirus thing. But what we can trust is that Jesus is still in control and that he's preparing us for something. And so as we take this time that God's given us to kind of take a break, to kind of step back and evaluate some things, what is it that God wants us to be doing after this? Who is it that God is preparing our hearts to reach and to minister to? Church, be praying about that. Think about that. Hopefully we'll be celebrating Easter together in a different way this year. And I understand that, and it's a little weird, but just know that we're praying for you, that we love you, and that we want to be with you as we prepare ourselves for what God has next.